of language is another argument that I hear for it. I've heard other people say that like it makes them more relatable to others. Do you guys have any like thoughts on these things, or even more arguments for it?
Well, there's this concept in missions of I forget what the name of the concept is, but essentially what it is like missionaries will take on a culture and they'll make it their own. Like they'll go to a Muslim place and they'll behave like a Muslim and they'll dress and like they'll do whatever, right? And it's not the best. I'm not saying this is the best concept, but it is a concept that has been used historically by missionaries, right? And they'll adopt that culture and like they'll become that, so that they can have an opportunity to speak about Jesus, right? Yeah. Like Paul said, like I became a Greek for the Greek, right? So a Jew for the Jew. So there's this, like what you just mentioned, is like, okay, well, maybe it works for like creating conversation with other people and like
in some way,
or fitting in and stuff like that. So like the question is like, how much is fitting in worth to you?
Yeah, that's good.
You know, like, because yes, like if you're gonna come into a context where everybody's cussing and you want to fit in, so you do as well, like what is the purpose for that?
Yeah,
sure. But for me, like, can I say a quick story real quick?
Yeah, do it.
So like we have a welding program at the church, right? Like a ministry. Reignite Hope. It's a great program. Like it takes in all kinds of people. So I used to be a chaplain. I actually took the welding class. I'm a certified welder.
Oh, really?
So I did it because I went in as a chaplain, and then I realized, like, yeah, I have a lot in common with these guys. I come from South Central. Like, I shouldn't have never made it, and all of these things, right? But there was something that was lacking for me. So I was like, well, you know what? I'm going to take the class so that I understand exactly what they're going through in the class. Like, so I have burn marks in my hand, and like I know how frightening not this one, but there's one up here. I know how frightening it is to like light up the torch and like and do a pass. So I know that. But remember one of the Bible studies that I did, I took them through Mark, like the first couple of chapters of Mark. The very first one, when it talks about Jesus, the Son of God, right? Right there. And so we did the first 8 verses and we went through it, and I had each one read it, and, so they all read it and they all had different questions and this. And at the end of the class, this guy, I went up to his bench because, and then he's like, hey, I want to tell you something. I'm like, what's up? He's like, you know what we just read today? I was like, yeah. He's like, I would have effing read that 1,000 times and I would never effing gotten it. And I was like, okay.
Don't know what to do with that.
Right? But in a way, I had to respond to him so that he knew that I knew the deepness of what he just said. So how do I respond to him? How do you respond to that person that is making that, in his own words, this is a deep thing that he's saying? How do you not acknowledge that in his own way?
Okay.
In his own way of not only understanding, but of expressing himself. I'm reminded of this time when Jesus heals this young man because he has a speech problem. And he's coming around and he takes him to the side, and the boy has a speech problem where he can't completely say words, so he's like, And if you read the passage correctly, when Jesus prays to God, it says that he muttered, I don't know if that's the word, but the way that he speaks is almost kind of like what the boy was doing. Like he speaks to God in that way. So the first words that boy or that man ever hears is Jesus speaking to God as he would have spoken to God.
Interesting.
Isn't that crazy? Like, so anyway, so there's a